Hey, hey, hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. My 31 male wife, 28 female, said she doesn't love me anymore and wanted to end the marriage. Found out she has had over a 12-month affair that started while she was pregnant with our second child. We have been married for 8 years. As the title says, about 6 weeks ago, early June, my wife told me she didn't love me anymore and didn't want to be married to me anymore. I was a bit blindsided, but we haven't been communicating well for a little while. She said I made her feel like I didn't love her anymore. My wife had been going out a fair bit more over the past year or so without me. I broke down and we had a small discussion about it, but didn't really approach the subject too much more than that. About 2 weeks go by with us not talking too much, and she says it again, that she's been doing a lot of thinking, and she is pretty adamant. We have a 6-month-old son and a 3-year-old daughter. I told her I'd give her some more time to think. I went and stayed with some friends for the working week, still working full-time, and then have the kids on the weekend, and my wife would go to her parents' place or be with friends as she doesn't have a place of her own. We are renting. We had been doing this for a few weeks and having some positive discussions, but when I came to swap over with the kids on Friday, she told me she's been talking to another guy for a few weeks, and she kissed him when they met up at an event during the past week she took the kids to. Even before this point, I didn't hold too much hope of getting back together anyway, so started asking her questions about it all. She met him at the gym, only been talking on social media, and met him once more at a social function. I then said, "What else are you not telling me?" She said nothing else. Later on, she asked me when I would join dating apps, as she just wanted me to be happy. She said that she didn't want me to go out with anyone that she knew. I told her if she was leaving me, she doesn't get a say in that anymore. She got really angry and that I shouldn't join anything straight away. Give it time and talk to her when I join anything. I said again, it's not her issue anymore and I'm going to do what I think is best for me. She got pretty mad and said that I was just going to have sex with anyone and everyone. I said no, I need time to heal. She said that she didn't believe me and I would probably be on there tomorrow. She was quite upset by the conversation. I asked her why she was so worried about me talking to other girls. She's leaving me. I asked if there was something she wasn't telling me. She said no, but I kept pressing. Finally, she said that she's been cheating on me with a friend of ours since May of 2019. That means she would have been approximately 6 weeks pregnant with our son at that point. Many feelings of shock and anger and sadness for me. She said she would go cheat when she says she would be going to the gym in the evenings, or when she says she's with the other girlfriends. She also said he would come over to our house, have sex on our marital bed, living room, couch, etc. during the working day as he kept different hours. Sole trader. She said that they were doing it multiple times a week at some points. I feel destroyed. I broke all contact off with this friend, blocked him on all social media, and never want to see or talk to him again. My wife says it was only physical. There was no emotional connection, but it's hard to not think there would have been after so long. I trusted her completely and have only begun to suspect something over the last few months. She's been hiding her phone all the time and had been going out more ever since our son was born. We are officially done now. She cannot be trusted at all. She's a terrific mom, so I'm not worried too much about our kids, and I think we'll be able to get into a good co-parenting routine. We have been amicable so far and have started to split assets. It is difficult right now with her not having a place to live yet. She's waiting for government benefits as she's unemployed and a stay-at-home mom. Had a few people say I should kick her out and take full custody until she can provide a place for them to live, but that would just hurt the kids. In some odd way, I have sort of forgiven her already. Still have a special place in my heart for her, to the mother of my kids. Gonna take the high road for now. Let her sort herself out so we can be the best parents we can be. I can stay with my friends during the week for at least the foreseeable future. Kicking her out would just make the situation worse. She has already moved on and I've accepted that she's left our marriage. We'll look for another place to live when the lease on this place runs out in another 6 months. Taking this next little while to heal as well as look after my kids and myself. Alright, time for some community comments. Swan Song Blue starts us off. Sadly, OP, your friend will have been on the scene for quite a while. You can't believe a single word your wife tells you. You need to DNA both of your kids. Don't worry about them having the same nose as you, yada yada. Get them tested. I'd be surprised if her affair partner takes her and the kids on. It was great getting himself wet while you were paying for the bills, and he was putting one over on you, but 24/7? Not nearly as much fun. You're going to have to be strong, OP. Let your wife face the consequences of her actions. She will soon be down to earth. Has friend got a wife or significant other? If so, you should consider blowing his world up. He didn't give a crap about yours. Don't tell your wife that you're going to do it. She will tip him off, and you'll be painted as the crazy husband. Good luck. Our next comment comes from Coke Pistachios. Please don't let her have the comfort of your home while you stay with a friend. She's done the crappy thing, so she should have the crappy consequences, such as having to figure out where to live. You get to be comfortable now, knowing that you have a home and that no intruders will be coming in while you're working to betray you. Knowing that you can sleep soundly without wondering what the F she's doing. The OP responds with, "Thanks for your reply. I know it's not ideal, and if not for the kids, she would have been on the street weeks ago. I know that I don't have to do it how I'm doing it, but I have to co-parent with my soon-to-be ex for many, many years yet. I know it's letting her not face all the consequences. They will come soon enough. I'm being the bigger person here and thinking of how I can keep the kids' routines as normal as possible. It's not fair to them that their mother has been a despicable human being." Coke Pistachios responds again, "I also don't want her to somehow use this against you as something along the lines of, well, this has been my primary residence and he's been staying elsewhere because he left. Know what I mean? I know you said you'd be talking to a lawyer. You definitely seem like you have your kid's best interest." The OP's response back to that, "Understand that for sure. I am the only one listed on the lease now, and I've only ever been the one paying the rent. She is moving out in the next few weeks, once she gets confirmed for a place to rent." Scary Slice 9 has the last comment. "Man, like the way you handle, seem the more indifferent you are, the more upset she is. If I were you, once she moved out, change the lock. Make known to whoever wants to know, friend, family, what she and ex-friend did. Not being petty, just the truth. Not intentionally, but do take note of her dislike. Show her you can do much better without her. She is toxic. Just don't get it. Why can't they end to something before they start? Take care." Alright, moving on to the next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to take responsibility for my ex-wife's child? Honestly, I don't believe I can be an a-hole, but doesn't hurt to check. My ex-wife, 33 female, and I, 33 male, were married for almost 2 years before we divorced 6 years ago. When we were dating, we talked about kids. I said I didn't want to be a father, and she felt the same way. A year after we got married, she said she started having second thoughts and decided she did want to be a mom. We tried to work this out, but there was no going back. Maybe I was just desperate to save my marriage because other than that, we really had a great life together, and we loved each other deeply. Then one day, she told me she was going to schedule an appointment with a fertility clinic to try to have a baby via IUI since I refused to get her pregnant, and if I wanted to stay, then I needed to accept that we were going to have a baby. This wasn't going to work out for us. I wasn't ready to be a dad, and she shouldn't be deprived of being a mom, so I filed for divorce. She didn't want me to leave, but it was the best thing to do. A year after the divorce, I became friends with my current wife, Addie. We became really good friends, and I fell hard for her. Addie was a single mom with a 2-year-old daughter, so I was really conflicted at first about pursuing a relationship, but we made it work. The two made it so easy to fall completely in love with them, and after being together for 3 years, we finally got married 10 months ago. My ex is still in contact with my siblings, which I am fine with, and through them, she learned that I not only remarried, but I was now a stepfather. My brother told me my ex wanted to talk, and after checking in with my wife, we met up for coffee to catch up. She showed me pictures of her now 5-year-old son, Robert, and she confessed that she felt a little cheated after learning about my new family. That according to her, I clearly didn't have much of a problem with kids, and we'd probably still be together raising our family. I didn't know what to say, but what I wasn't expecting was for her to tell me I should bond with Robert, since he legally would have been my son if we hadn't divorced her. She became angry when I told her no, and said I owed Robert for walking out on the marriage, and he deserves to have a father too. I left early because she was making no sense, and my wife agrees that is very unusual. I have no ties to Robert, and how can I be a father to a kid I don't know? We have our own family and our own life. My brothers and parents have heard from both sides, and they do feel I should step up for this kid. They're a bit biased though. While they adore my wife and stepdaughter, they have a soft spot for my ex and have said she's had a hard time as a single mom, and it really would be beneficial for Robert to have a father. My refusing to be a part of his life is unfair to them, since I obviously wasn't completely against having kids, as I said I was when we divorced. Alright, let's see what the community has to judge. Hoagie Mama says, I get that she feels cheated. I would too. but that's the way the cookie crumbles. There's a big difference between your wife telling you she's doing IUI and you need to suck it up, and meeting someone who is upfront about already having a child. Not the a-hole. I would honestly consider asking your family to distance themselves from her at this point, because if I was your current wife, I would feel very strange. 00 Lisa 00 says, not the a-hole. There are several nuances to this. 1. Your ex-wife tried to force a child on you, even though she went into the marriage knowing this. While I understand people change their mind, she went about it in a sketchy way. 2. The fact that you also later changed your mind based on circumstances should have no bearing on the previous situation. 3. Your family trying to force a relationship with this child and by extension the ex is super weird. Are they not even thinking about the impact on your current wife? 4. This whole thing is ridiculous. Why on earth would you jump into being a father to a child you are not related to and have never met just because it's your ex's child? Her being in a self-chosen and self-imposed hard spot is not your issue. She became a single mom on purpose. She has to deal with the consequences. 5. What if, say you do jump in, and 3 years down the line, you've bonded with a kid and she meets someone else? I can bet she will shut down the relationship with the kid because it would be awkward for the new guy. 6. Her referencing that this would be your family had you stayed sounds a bit stalkerish. Like she sees you getting back together and is using this as a way to get a foot in your life. This whole thing is just no. If they are all so set up about supporting her, they can do it.